I think. I think we got it. I think we finally got it. Hey everybody, welcome back to some, and that looks horrible green screeny. Welcome back to After Hours. I had to think for a minute. I had a lot of problem with, let's turn down. I just want the chat. That's what I want right there, the chat. A whole lot of problem with streaming, and I didn't notice it that I had bad settings. I tried tweaking them early on back in the beginning. Yeah, no, I don't think I realized how bad my settings were until I actually used them. Now, with the problem I face today, I do believe, is the newer the hardware, or not newer the hardware, the newer the graphics card, the hey, what do you know? I think we'll do that quick while I'm on the stream. The newer the graphics card, the more memory it pulled from the system, the more resources it was using. So I'm fairly certain that was what the problem was. Because if you think about it, I went from like, I don't even know, a 7200 GS to an old 9800 GT. And after that, we went to, that'll definitely drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 links down over here. Okay, 7200 GS to a 9800 GT to an ATI 6770, I do believe. After the 6770, we went to a 950. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. After the 950, we put in a 1050 Ti and had a dang miserable time with it. So that clears up the, except for me. What do you want? Do I go in and, do I go in and try and tweak the settings? Builder, correct? Chroma key. So let's adjust it and look at it. I do believe if I pull this slider back a little, we need, oh wow, we need a little more. And then we gotta, wow. Well, that makes me stop disappearing so much. Let's, how are we gonna select a color? Pick screen color. And let's hit OK. OK. Well, no, that's a little better. We lose some in the top corner because it's even darker yet. Alright, I'm going to go with it there. Anyhow, we had to step back from this nightmare here, this monstrous thing. I don't know if anybody can read the sign, but a new motherboard ordered last night, be here Thursday. tried everything, left at 2:30 a.m. That's right. For 2 days, 2 nights, I should say, not 2 days. 2 nights, I battled, thinking it was a quirk, a weird setting in BIOS. It was almost, no, it wasn't a battle to the death, but you know. The problem with it is it doesn't always shut down, and it will not restart. No way, no how. Restarting is not an option, okay? So, yeah. Restarting is not an option. I mean, let me tell you. So we have a new motherboard coming. We didn't get another BioStar. Not that I don't like BioStar and don't trust them. I've used them in my own builds. But we're going with an MSI, which I'm not entirely sure. I thought BioStar was part of MSI, but who knows? Not I. Anyhow, let's try and get to this after hours. Thank you for joining me, if you are. Anybody that's ever here, if you have questions, go in the chat. I do, and it's hard to see, but I do have a phone just off screen there. Just off screen, I got my phone right here so I can read comments. I don't like having the YouTube up on the same computer I'm streaming from or another computer. I don't know. I have this weird idea that it can use more bandwidth than, you know, a mobile phone, which I don't know. I'm stupid. I know technology, but I think I overlook obvious things very easily. Let's adjust this upper camera. We're seeing way too much of the power strip there. I am just something I'm not digging about that. We'll pull it back and get my head and my belly in the frame. There we go. Right here, I got a friend's brother's computer here. This is Dylan. I believe Dylan is his name. Who owns that computer? We're gonna check it out. It did boot up for me, so it's not that horrible. I always like it when I have like a friend or a friend's relative or, you know, family member's device in here, because I try to do my best on everything, and I know, you know, all the time, but especially those, I'm like, oh, I gotta try and do this up to the standard of somebody that doesn't know me, even though you know, they already know me because of being previously acquainted. Don't want them changing the opinion of me. No, I don't think it matters really. So what's going on here? This poor guy, girl, this one. You know what? It's 2019 now. Can we get, what would it be, on the wagon, off the wagon? Can these just be gender-free computers? They don't need to be hims or hers? Is that okay? I think so. We'll just say this computer was put into a laptop bag running. Now, I understand some of the AMDs, the A8s, the A10s were a little better than, you know, granted, some of the A4s and whatever, the lower end ones. But still, AMD chipsets of the A series, I do believe, ran a little hot. Some of them, most of them. And this thing was put into a bag running. Now, I don't know about that, but it did not help things out. Not one bit. So there we go. It's toast. I am going to pull the hard drive out of it quick and get a data backup. So, can we pull this keyboard now just by lifting? Is it a liftable keyboard? Gee, I don't really know, Bobo. Let's look. Let's get a flathead and see. I mean, it pretty much is popping apart and gonna bust the case apart. There's no way. This thing comes out. I've never seen it done. Not saying it can't be done. But, okay. If that's really the way it comes out, the keyboard comes out. There, you know, anybody that's ever ripped a laptop apart, I'm sure you've seen how they have the little pressure latches across the top. You press it in and the top will pop out. That's what it looks like is on the bottom of this thing. And if it is, kudos. I've never seen it done that way. I didn't think, and I know my head's in the way, I didn't think it was possible to do it that way, but hey, we will see if this thing, I think it may pop apart. Let's hold the hinge area and see. Oh yeah, this thing is getting to be some toast. We're gonna give it a nice adios friend, if it'll come apart. Let's find out. We've got a clip there, and over further, if I'm not mistaken, yep, right around the edge, and then a few across the front. There we go, and open. Let's get rid of these cables. I just don't want to forget them because they belong to Dylan's computer. So there, we're now into this Toshiba. We'll go ahead and pull the hard drive out. That poor little AMD chipset. That poor AMD chipset. You just cooked yourself to death in that bag. Well, you know, what can I say? Should have been Intel. No, I'm just an Intel fanboy. I like Intel. I used to run AMD. Wow. Is that? Wow. I've never seen that. I've seen them stuck together, but the actual little, you have these little tabs that you wedge down in between the rubber of, hold on, let's go here. Between the rubber of the hard drive case and then plastic in the laptop, you wedge these little blocks in, and that is, you know what, that cam sucks that bright. We're going to darken it down a scotch. Oh, where are you at? What do we need to take it? 6? 6 is the ticket. That's it, okay. Okay, so these little tabs here get wedged between plastic of the laptop, like the top or bottom case, and then the hard drive itself, and the blocks keep it from sliding out of the SATA power and data connector. However, this thing seems like it got so hot inside, right next to that chipset, that they were not only, it wasn't only just wedged in there and just kind of stuck from being pressed together for so long, but the heat actually melted the rubber together to where I'm ripping it to pull it apart. There it goes. Okay, so you poor little laptop, you cooked yourself to death. Well, you can't put them in a bag when they're on. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. It will not help matters whatsoever. So that does go. Is that how? Yeah, that's how it goes right there. Boom. Good. Okay. Let's zoom it back in. Anyways, if anybody is out there joining me for this, actually, while I'm here, I'm going to load it up. Can I share this? If I'm on my own channel, can I actually share it? Is it going to give me the option for Facebook? Share a link to Facebook. Let's try and do it on the phone. Third time's a charm. That's what we'll title it. Check it out, people. We're posting it public. Let's see who's out there in Facebook land. How many people are going to hop on over here to the live stream. We'll go there. And then we'll go there. That seems to be the live one. I guess I must have... Oh, I did pause it. Okay. So we'll turn it down from this side. And give me my live chat back. Alright. Hard drive's out. Wow. So we're going to try and see if this thing will post, at least. We've got... Okay, now this is a laptop that previously... It had some other stuff going on. It had soda spilled in it, I do believe. It might have gotten burnt. Or not burnt, but it didn't kill it, the soda, funny enough, but what it did do was get it fairly sticky inside. So heck of a thing. You poor little AMD. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? How disgusting is that little tiny Wi-Fi card? Like, I don't even have anything that zooms in further than that. Look at that little tiny Wi-Fi card, if I can show you. Right there. Is it small or what? That is a tiny Wi-Fi card. That is not even mini PCI Express. That's like M.2, but super mini. Wow. Technology's great. Like, they literally just tucked it right in under a ribbon cable. I mean, that's how awesome that was. Just right under a ribbon cable. And somebody buzzed the phone over here. I don't know who did that. There. We'll get... You know what? Do I take the gamble? Do I take the gamble and move it? Yeah. Let's do it the simple way. We'll spin this one off, take it around, and lock it onto the same shelf. Sorry people, the camera's going to jiggle for a minute here while I put another clamp up to mount the one webcam to. I have it on a microphone arm. It's the one that I can move around, and it just like kind of sits in free space. So but if we can get this much closer, I think you might actually enjoy that it we can get down closer to the work we're doing, which a close-up is often nice, but is it worth making everybody sick? No, let's find out. All right. These articulating microphone boom arms, the clamps for them, after you crank them down tight a couple times, they, I'll tell you what, the threads on them just don't last at all. If we can get off, there we go, we got off of the weld on the bottom side support for this shelf. We're about done here. We're going to get that cam a little closer, and it might help us get around the monitor problem we're facing. Slightly different angle, slightly closer. If I pull it and it unmounts from the shelf, so be it. I don't think it will, but now let's find out. Can we go closer? And will it do us any better? You know what? I think it might. Yeah, we don't want to go too tight on that one. Now, oh, guess what? I about dropped you guys. Figure that out. What if we just crank her tight? Oh, guess what? You gotta come back to the other one temporarily. And I think we're gonna have to bail on this idea, maybe? Did my plate bend? Doing these mods during the stream is not ideal. Macking on an articulating arm into a monitor. Gonna get tired of dealing with that after a quick minute. Okay, let's open this thing up wider. And there we go. Now we just got to get it over here and spin it up out the way, if possible. If not, I'm going to give up at this stage. Not all the other stages, just this one. Almost. We're cranking. What we're gonna get out of it, I don't know, but we're going for it. Full gusto. I don't want to say full send because that seems like more of an action thing when you're trying to trick, but you know what, hell with it. Full send. Full send on this camera mount to see if we can stick it in one go, if we can tug on it a little bit and not have it fly off. Wow. As soon as it starts biting down, it wants to pull loose every time. Okay. Oh, is that gonna make it? No. Alright, heck with it tonight. I'm gonna fashion a new mount for that side. I really am. And how did the camera... Ah, that's how it flipped. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna fashion a new mount for over there so I can like bring this thing way down in the business so you can see what's happening. Like, that's all the further because I always constantly run into the monitor. I was trying to move the mount, a secondary mount closer, did not work. So we got the hard drive out. We're gonna go ahead and back this data up. We are tied up over here copying 80 some gigs of data from, we're getting hard drive upgrade. A what's it called? 1.2, and we also have the other cam present still too. Because we'll run through the cameras for the open hours / after hours show. We got the above cam. We got the zoomed in version of the above cam, which, you know, I mean, a little bigger, a little better. So the above the bench, the zoomed in version, we have the right cam that's adjustable. Face cam with the green screen, and it just has my browser window up there now. I do slideshows sometimes. My actual screen, if we want to get technical and have some detail. We have the repair screen. If the guy's computer is on, which it isn't, it does refresh rather quickly though, so we'll go ahead and pull up the repair. There's me on the face cam with the repair of the KVM machine. And then that I pop up when my daughter came in, if it's just me and another person. I got me with no slideshow, and then we also have the new cam, which is the KVM cam. I can go over this way. So we're going to go over here and borrow the boss's computer and do a quick, well, I don't know about quick, I don't know how much data they have. Apparently, this fire hall has a lot of QuickBooks data, so we're going to try and get that for them. Get it safe, ready to go. Alright, unless this is a situation where, oh, I do know the pin, okay. Let's turn this down some. Okay, computer down. We need, what do we need? We need a DT, there they are. Alright, let's go ahead in. We're going to go in and, oh, that's why. Well, if that's missing, that could be one reason. What does he have running on here that keeps stealing it all? Dismiss that. Let's go to settings. Something. His tools. Virus and threat protection. Threat history. Well, the Trojan, no, the Trojan's okay. I understand that. Let's see the full history. So a Java exploit and something with Visual Basic script. Those two are bad. Auto KMS, okay, that's an activator. Well, how are we going to put that program back? I mean, we'll grab a thumb drive and stash another copy of said program on there. Just gotta find, there's a flash drive with something on it. Okay, so data backup about to be rolling. Chugging along on this hard drive. Drive. Copy. And paste. Alright. That's in there. Now we can run our software. Run as admin. Yes. Let's go ahead and, I know you guys can't see this, but I got operations going on multiple computers, so I gotta do the backup on the boss man's computer. On your computer, Dad, sorry. Alright, that looks like the host E. Okay. Backup data for drive E. We'll go ahead and get all the users. We're going to do the backup location to Where do we do it? Desktop. Make new folder, and we'll just say we'll call it Fire Hall for fun stuff. Let's say use that folder, back up in subfolder, next. Okay, that's the program path to it. And there's that, looks good. And let's hit launch. We'll probably hear a little chime from that when it kicks on. Alright, this one we can set out of, oh yeah, okay. While we got it here, while it's apart, let's see if we can get it to post. Why don't we? See if we can make this awesome computer do a post. What do you think? Computer that was in a bag for, I'm gonna say, okay, we'll say 15 minutes to a half hour minimum, maximum an hour or so. And if that's the only data backup, I'm kind of worried. That was literally nothing. Checking. We've got 1.55 gigs. Looking at the data backup. Documentes. So we do have some QuickBooks. Wow, okay. We got the license PC and that, but we have no actual data. Where is the data for QuickBooks? Shared docs, Intuit, QuickBooks, company files. Well, that there looks like data. Okay. There's a workbook. I don't see any backup. Or we could transfer that to a new install if that is indeed. Alright, data backed up. When people say a lot of data, or a lot of QuickBooks data, I don't think they're grasping what a lot of data is. But hey, that's okay. There is a world of things that I do not understand. And that's okay. I don't need to. I do what I know how. The best way I know how. And most of the time it works. Most of the time it works. Let's go ahead and reassemble this thing. Boy, that's funny. Did we need that? Yes, right like that. Okay, so this goes in. Another thing, may not always do things the best way or the fastest way. What my hope is, though, is to show everybody that there's nothing special or magical or mystical about this. And, you know, take your time, have some patience, and see what you can learn. Give it a shot. You know, why not? It's a fun hobby, too. I mean, as well as work. It is work, don't let me fool you. But as well as work, it is a hobby. So let's put back our ribbon cable. Right here. And press it in. Lock each side down. Lock back on. We will put our Capcom tape back over top of that. We're going to go ahead and plug in. I don't think we need a DVD drive for this. And let's just see if we can get some power, or when we do, wow, look at that. That whole thing is broken loose. Like there's literally nothing. Look at that hinge. It's completely snapped off. This thing has had soda spilled in it. It's got corrosion. It's got a broken hinge. I don't think the other hinge is far behind, to be honest. Let's try and open this up without breaking it. There. It should stay there. We'll go to that. And we'll see if we can get this thing to attempt to even post. I doubt it. Really, really doubt it. But hey, just maybe. Okay, so we do have a fan spinning. We've got a light on. Fan's back off. The light's still on. So I don't... What could the problem be? What is your problem, little AMD system? Did you cook your video chipset? Did you cook yourself in general? Where is the LCD connector? Where are they hiding that at? We will take a look at it. Is it under this hinge? No, it has to, yes, it comes through. It's right there. Okay, so right there. So, it's not a loose LCD connector. We know that. I am just going to say that it cooked itself. We had fan spinning, fan stopped. It's kind of nowhere. We got the data backed up. That was our instructions going forward. At this point, this is not something Oh, wait a minute. What do we got? We got more fan spin. Okay, fan spinning. Is it going to mean anything? Amount to anything? Yes? No? Yes? No? No? Yes? Tell me. Alright, power down. Let's pull the RAM out and just pop it into another slot over here to see. Bad RAM slot. We'll try a different piece of RAM quick to see. Maybe they'll want to revive this. I wouldn't recommend it at this point with the broken hinge and having mass amounts of corrosion from having soda spilt in it. But if it works, you know. Yeah, I did not think so. Alright, no such luck. So, mission accomplished with this one. I'm going to go ahead, power down. Push these hinges shut with it in the proper place. Wow. Amazing. Impressive power supply as well. Impressive. Alright, so we'll go back to the right. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up this power supply. Like, this has got to be like 10, 12 foot overall. You don't get power supplies of that caliber very often anymore. And I did hear some notifications. Are you liking a video on Facebook without actually watching? Are you hopping in? Are you able to watch from Facebook? How do work? How does it work? Oh. Computer on, no can see display. Alright, power supply wrapped up. Let's go ahead and reassemble this thing for right now. Marching orders are, if anything, to back up data, and they're not going to mess with it. I don't know who did it or how. Who did, how happened, but definitely 100%. No bueno. No flipping good, man. No good come out of putting this thing in a bag with it running. Now, how would it run in a bag with the screen closed is the question some people might ask, and I don't know. I know you can set these up for it to do whatever it's doing with the display closed. It can still stay on, but I'm pretty sure you can to it. Another thing, that's the report I got, that it was in a bag turned on and it come out hot like it had just been pulled out of an oven. So maybe it was set up to never sleep even with the lid closed. I know you can set laptops up to do that, to not go to sleep. What else? I don't know. So marching orders on this one, good to go. I am throwing these back in. We'll go through and wind them all down very quickly here. One more, wear miss. One more wear miss that corner. Okay, now let's go ahead and go the corner. We'll check the two for the battery. We'll get this corner because it's where we're going to end up. We're going to go back, checked. Good. And we will work our way around the outside edge. There's a few ways I've seen different people do it when they do it. Some go around the outside edge of the screws till they're all tight and then work on the ones in the middle, going inward, going outward, going in rows. Doesn't matter how you do it, just tighten them down. Check them all. Check this half, check that half. Let's get them tight. You don't want, that's one way to break a hinge quick. Like a hinge between the top, like the top case or the bottom case, depending where it mounts, and the hinge itself. If you want to break loose the mounting point for it, have a couple screws out because they're not holding it solid, and it will want to, yeah, you can feel that this side open. This side there's like no resistance to it. This one there is, because there's not just that one screw in there being broke loose. It's super hard to open. So we got the data. Let's get it out of the way. I will do paperwork on this tomorrow. We'll put your cables back right there, Dylan. Okay, that don't look like it's gonna work. We'll have to pitch it. That is my order. That is some other stuff. So papers that do work. Papers that do work. Just what the computer person ordered. Just what the IT guy ordered. More stuff dealing with my order. Giant monitor. We're going to replace a board in it and see some results with it turning on and booting. We got the updates on this computer done, I believe. We're going to go in and check. Okay, good, up to date. Let's give it another check. We will restore his data. That should be done in the morning, and I'm back to disappearing. Okay, dude. All right. Won't boot. Yeah, won't boot's right, but did it really? For what reason is it not powering on? Okay, won't boot is what they put on the paperwork here. That, I know, that. You just can't see it. I have everything way, way, way too bright. Won't boot. So, should we check further into it? They said it cooked itself in the bag. I kind of don't believe it. Maybe something else is wrong with it. There's a reason it's not turning on. Is it a bad screen? I don't know. They want their data. We got to call them and confirm before we go ahead and do more work to the thing. We're down to 26.3 gigabytes out of 80 some copying over. I don't want to unplug my other external that this guy's data is on in case that system has any type of thing that's not. You unplug one USB thing and it dismounts all. I'm not redoing the data copy. No way, no how. Alright, next order of business for tonight's After Hours. We have some complaints. Let's give ourselves a little more working room here. A little more room to breathe. Okay. The word on this one is, I think, overheating, and it doesn't come on right away. Overheating, open the screen, it sticks, and a long time for home screen to come up. So it takes a long time for the home screen to come up. It is allegedly cooking itself by overheating. This computer has yet another thing in common. Well, with the whole, we have a whole space of, whole part of a shelf of laptops in the closet over there. That they all have one thing in common. And I'm not proof that they're bad, I don't know. Proof that maybe some corners were cut, maybe it was a bad design. Certainly, I guess it could be. I don't have 100%, but the thing they all have in common, they all have this Vision, AMD Vision A6, A8, A10, A4 logo on them. All of them are AMD based laptops that are dead. Most of them power on, and it's not the RAM, it's not the screen, it's usually motherboard, a chipset problem, either the chipset or the CPU with the integrated graphics, APU if they have them. That's the common denominator. So, overheating, I don't doubt it. You are probably 100% correct if you're talking about a little AMD laptop. We're going to go ahead and get you opened up. Let's try and get the right camera back out here as far as possible. Yeah, see, there we go. Smacking the monitor again. Smacking the monitor again. Okay. There's that for a slightly different angle. And we got our zoomed in. Where are we at? Let's go with, that's not too bad for barrel distortion. Where does that put our zoom? Okay. What if we move our zoom? Alright. Not bad. Pretty well centered. If I go this way further, I can keep my head out of the scene for everybody. What's your problem, little AMD laptop? Let's find out. Is it hot like the desert in here? Is it hot just like summertime in central PA? Or is it hot like your heat sink is jammed solid with lint and dust and hair and who knows what else? Is that Okay, it's not a trim plate. Keyboard's all connected, so we got some teardown to do first here, people. Pop the battery out. Take out one screw. This should slide. There we go. I like you already. I just don't like what you're built of. You do, however, somebody upgraded you with some love too. That's not stock as far as I know. Yeah, definitely not stock as far as I know. You can't even see it. There we go, Mushkin. It is a legit thing. Damn, is my exposure really that bad? Configure. Let's drop it one more. So it's on 6. That's 5. That's 6. How about we take the brightness? How about we back off the brightness a little bit? Contrast, if we lose some. Yeah, we don't want to lose contrast, do we? And we take it too high right there. We'll jump the brightness down. That will let us. Yeah, still glare. It's that bright LED light above it. We're not going to worry about the details. When I tell you it's Mushkin, believe it. It actually is. Mushkin RAM. That's not stock in laptop, so. I mean, maybe somebody puts Mushkin in, some manufacturer. Maybe you can order it with it, not saying never, no way, no how. But that's some love there, putting that in. I used to run it. It's expensive, more expensive than just, regular old RAM. They're running, so 2 matching, is it 2? Yeah, 2 matching sticks of, it's an 8 gig kit. 2 times 4 gigs, 8 gigs, PCL3. I doubt these are 8 gig sticks. If they were, that'd be cool though. Really cool. Let's go ahead and take out our SATA drive, or SATA connector, hard drive out. If you're ever ripping apart one of these HP series laptops that really reminds you of the HP 2000, any of these that look like, wow, that have that wacky, any that have this look, and usually they're the ones that have this type battery that rocks in. There's the 2000s and then a couple of the G6s, I think, just for reference. This is a G6 2235 US model, so battery basically sits in there, goes in and rocks down. Yeah. You got to take the Wi-Fi card out, was my point. You take the Wi-Fi card out if you're opening it up to the point where you're going to be working on the motherboard, pulling the fan out and the heatsink to clean it. Yeah, you're going to want definitely to take the Wi-Fi card out, because it is connected to the motherboard by the slot and then screwed to the case. You'll break something if you don't. So take it out, save yourself some time, some headache. And to keep track of the screw, if you're not using a magnetic mod mat or a magnetic thing to throw screws in, or not going to be putting it away back together for quite a while, put the screw back in where it came out of. Alright, let's go ahead and see what's what. These should all be similar length screws with red. Really? They did us with some red Loctite? Okay, so be it. Data copying. What are we down to? Do a little check here. Okay, 25 gigs. So it's taken a little longer than I like. I got a noisy hard drive. I'm not sure if it's the 1 terabyte that has the data or the 2 terabyte we're copying to. But we got a noisy drive over there, if you can hear that. I don't think you can though. Right. Let's go ahead and knock the ROM loose. Wow. Okay. That one is in there. There we go. Okay, another thing, just like the screw that mounts down your Wi-Fi card, the screw you took out to take out your DVD writer, DVD-ROM, CD, whatever it is, your optical drive, put the screw in it. That way you'll know where it is when you want to go to put it back in. Just don't forget to take it out when trying to put it back in. They don't fit too good with that little screw sticking up. Alright. Out. Out. So, how is the stream, honestly? Did my phone die? Phone did die? No. Phone did no die, but it crashed? Something happened to it. It was on the stream, and yet it's not. Okay, so we got some live chat. Nobody there. I'm here. I'm here. What about me? What about me? What about you? Shut up. Right? So 2 of these screws that we've taken out, so, okay, other than the Wi-Fi card, the screw that keeps the Wi-Fi card in, 2 of the screws are different, and that's the 2 that go in under the hard drive. Well, one's right at the edge where the SATA connector is, one's directly underneath in the hard drive bay there. Those 2 are smaller than all the rest. They should be, let me check here, little screws that are the same size as the Wi-Fi. So if you lose your Wi-Fi screw, you can use one of the 2 from under the hard drive to replace and tie down your Wi-Fi card. All the screws are out. One's for the keyboard. Let me take a look here. I believe that's it. I overlook things like this a lot. So let's see if we can possibly open this up now we're going to go ahead and hold the back because the screws are out. We're going to hold where the hinges are. A lot of laptops start cracking and break that way because when you open it, when tearing these down, it's not as well supported. That one screw out lets it be weaker and they will break a lot. So there's that. We're going to go ahead and attempt to pop our keyboard off. Oh yeah, it comes right up now. There's no screws holding it in. Some of them that are this design, they do have a trim plate that comes off and then you can get the keyboard out. Not this case though. This case, different story. Okay, first we'll go ahead and pull up our few ribbon cables, and if you can see here, hopefully we can get close enough, we are very, very dusty inside. Fan's dusty, under the keyboard is really dusty. It doesn't look like this has been cleaned out in quite a while. We need to pull up 2 ribbon cables, and if you've got an HPG series, it should be relatively close to this. I know there's a bunch of variations of each model in different countries throughout the world, but they should all be something like this. Alright, these screws coming out of the top here, from underneath the keyboard, happen to also be the same size as the ones under the hard drive, and also the one holding down the Wi-Fi card. So, if you wanted, you can replace one of the ones for the hard drive by leaving a keyboard screw out, or if you lose your Wi-Fi screw, replace one of those. There should be either 5 or 6 of these, depending on the laptop model. What are we at so far? 3. Actually, I take that back. Yeah, 5. Okay, 3. Let's see, 4. And then I think 5 will be this one. What's that? Oh, 6. Okay, I was just going to say there's a model that has a little where it dips down in and holds some kind of bracket, which is actually, is it part of the hinge maybe? I don't know. It is a full-size screw, like the ones in the bottom. Now, we can lay this on its lid, rotate it that way a little, and start unclipping the top case from the bottom case. We want to get in this thing. Don't pull a neck, people. Don't pull a neck. Good old neck. Using something metal to open plastic. Okay. Well, that came loose. Let's go ahead and check this side. See if we can wiggle it. There it goes. And we're losing plastic pieces and lots of dirt. So let's get our plastic pieces. We're going to sweep all them up, gather them up to show you whatever ones didn't fall on the floor. That is, we'll gather those ones up. Okay. And there's the back. Okay, there's that piece. And I think, oh, big chunk just fell on the floor. I don't know what happened to you. Sad little AMD machine. I don't know where you're... is that it? It is. Okay. So let's get our nice round handle bamboo broom. And we're going to give a little look-see. Okay. And I clean these usually every night after I clean up. I'll sweep this. So we've got a sticker that's not really relevant. And that is all the plastic and mounting, pieces of the case. And that looks damned horrible, people. A streamer, I don't think. I think I would do better to there we go. I think I would do better to record and be able to finesse the final product. That just takes valuable time. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces from out of, the top case and the bottom case of stuff that's broken. It looks like at least half of it is what was holding what our screws thread into for this hinge. And then some more of it, actually that's probably most of it, is over there. And with this hinge being broken, we may have actually started cracking this hinge on this side loose too. So that could be some of the pieces. It doesn't look like it's any of the spots where the laptop clips together around the edge. So, wow. That's going to need fixed if she wants to keep this laptop. Hey, I did not call the laptop she. She is the owner, okay? So, don't make that mistake thinking I'm giving these computers a gender. They don't want to be identified. They identify as machine. Machina. Is this a sad little AMD too? I forgot already. Let me look at this case. Is it? It is, it is. It is an AMD. Has it cooked itself to death though? We don't know yet. What we do know is we got to do something about this broken hinge. So we're going to go ahead and unmount the LCD on this side, or the hinge on this side, and with the display cable out and the Wi-Fi card out, that means the antennas are loose. Antennas for the Wi-Fi card are loose. We can pull them out, no problem. And the display connector here is disconnected, so we can pull it off, no problem, and should be able to take this out fairly easy. We'll pull these through and do that. And it looks like we are fighting with the daughter board ribbon cable over here for the USB, hard drive light, power light, and the DC jack cable. And there's our display. Okay, so let's get this motherboard up and out of here. One screw or two? One. Okay, so we have one screw retaining the motherboard, and also the other SATA connector. Where is it? I mean, that thing is folded up a couple ways from Sunday. Come here, I'm gonna ball you up. Ball you up, laptop. Oh, I can't pick on a little AMD machine. Alright, motherboard screw, important. But, again, the same size as the top case under keyboard screws, under the hard drive, and the Wi-Fi screw. So if we lose one, we got spares to replace it. My goal is to never have any extra screws. That really bothers me. If I end up with extra ones because I don't know where they go. What's your guess? Let me show you this, and we're going to take guesses on the fan. But we need a good camera. We need a good camera to showcase this, or just no glaring light. So you can see all the dust here. It's pretty dirty where that fan was pulling the dust in. Overall, it's dirty through this whole bottom case that our motherboard mounts in. We had quite a bit of dust on top of the keyboard where the fan also happens to pull some dust in. We've got dust on the fan in the shape of the screen that's on our bottom case here. Screen on the bottom case. We have dust in that shape on the fan. The fan blades are covered in dust. What do you guys and gals out there say? Jammed up? With it started with lint or a hair, some kind of dust, hit a fan and made a nice little carpet? Yes or no? Yeah? Yeah, really? You say yeah? Alright, let's find out. Can I reserve? Can I reserve my guess till I see? So I can be right? Alright. We're getting toward the end of tonight's agenda. My data is about done copying. It's slow going, but that's also because it's running through. Alright, I have a 3.5-inch hard drive, a big one, plugged into one side of a dock. It's running to the computer out the USB 3 cable to the other side of the dock, unless they have that dock linked internally in the, it's a dual slot hard drive dock for cloning, copying, sticking a, just a bare hard drive in, whether it's 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch. You can just take, your bare drive and slot it right in, kind of like a toaster, like putting a strawberry cheesecake toaster strudel in a toaster, same way. Now you can't be rebel and put your toaster strudel, in this case hard drive, in the dock that way, because it has to mount where the SATA connectors are. But with them toaster strudels at home in a toaster, you can be the rebel and just put them in sideways. then it's hard to get them out and you end up burning your fingers, you know? Does anybody do that? I do it all the time. I want to be the rebel with burnt fingers. Alright. What was your guess again? Is it going to be jammed up with dust in there? I think so. I think so. Alright, I'll give you my guess. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say, yeah, it's jammed up. I didn't look. I didn't tear this down ahead of time. I'm even going to go as far to say I'm not a professional. But I do have quite a few years of experience playing with these things, working on them, actually doing work to fix them for a couple different places as well as myself. So, what is our holdup? Okay, it just looks like some adhesive. Huh. Okay, and we had a pretty... Now if you look, you can see that there's a gap in the thermal compound, and when you compare right here, the thermal compound on the heatsink, there should be an equal gap. And guess what? There's not. So what we had here was a really bad thermal application. It was nice and covered, and we have this triangle shape here, okay, that is not covered. Now on our heatsink, since it came off, or not the heatsink, but the heat spreader, whatever. No, heatsink, that's where heat comes off, sinks out to the fin. Okay, whatever. Forget the technical terms. We have that gap there. We also have a gap here where there's no thermal compound on our copper. So we had a complete bare spot on this AMD chip. Did it have thermal compound and burn it off in that shape? I don't know. But what I do know is there's a bare spot that where when you mate the two halves together, when you join them up, that there is no thermal compound between them. So running the laptop, you can have a hot spot on that die. Could it do damage to it? Yeah, probably. Will it? Yeah, probably. I don't know for sure, but just guess. There are two main things that kill electronics other than liquid or heat and dust. That causes a lot of heat runs faster. Trying to push more air out to cool it. Fan spinning a lot faster more often is going to jam your heat sink up quicker, I would think. Maybe not. Also, it's, you know, care. How do you take care of it? Do you set it down on a couch, a carpet floor, a bed, sheet, your lap, or you're setting it on a hard surface? You know, there's a lot of factors to it. So, what was everybody's guess again? You said this thing is going to be jammed up tight. I think so too, to be honest with you. Alright. Got one tiny screw out. Let's take the other one out and get this off of here for everybody. And what do we have? Okay, we have two little clips. Hold on, I want you to see as soon as I get it opened up, so we'll do it here. Alright, everybody ready? We'll do the reveal. What was your guess? No? You said no, not a chance of dirt. Those fins look super clean from that side. Not a bit of dust and dirt and lint in there. Or did you say yes? My answer was yes, as well, if I hadn't already said. So yeah, looking at that, we're pretty well blocked up the whole way across. We have like one, maybe two little spots. So just to show you, I'm going to set this down. That way I can't take it across and, you know, throw some lint over here and stomp on it and jam some dirt and crap into it. Now, you should, by rights, be able to see the light coming through. And you can indeed see a bright LED flashlight through some of that dust and dirt. But that is jammed up. I'm going to show you the difference between being able to look at it like that, okay, being able to look and see that versus what it's like when it's clean. Now, because over here at After Hours, we do have neighbors over there, and then further over there, and then further over there, neighbors out that way along the highway. But I'm talking about our direct neighbors there and further over. We're not going to run the air compressor at 12:49 a.m. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to get a brush and clean this out. And we use the same one I used the other day. I have an old lens cleaning brush here. You have one side, and this is from having the photography, camera and other photography equipment. Photography, cinematography. This side cleans your lenses. It's dry when you don't need any lens cleaner. It has some kind of carbon-based formula that, I don't know. It worked great though. Got a little dirty. Used it quite a bit. But it has depending how far you push it out, it can be a stiffer bristle brush if you only leave it part way out. Then you're dealing with some fairly stiff bristles on that brush. We're going to go ahead and brush this off. Do I have a camera to show you that? Not really. But what we do got is a trash can, and I'll attempt it up here. And you can actually, once you brush it up a little, go and pull your dust off once it gathers up a little. We got some animal hair in there, probably almost certainly human hair, animal hair, a lot of dust, a little bit of lint, mostly dust and lint jammed together, held together by a couple longer hairs. And yeah, that's the culprit for helping AMD be a sad little AMD computer. Now, we'll go ahead and clean a little further. We don't have to go too extensive. We'll knock this little bit of dust off on our counter. I didn't want to get the bulk of it, the majority. But now, what do you think? Let's take a look in there and see if there is a difference. And also, let's see, while we're at it, because this lady is an awesome customer. I don't like name dropping people. Can I say Michelle? Michelle would be okay, right? With everybody? Michelle is an awesome person. We're going to go ahead and see what did I call this thing? A G6? Let's find out. This is, another piece of plastic fell off. This is an HP. I don't know if it's along the Pavilion line or what. Usually it says it if it's a Pavilion. So this would be an HP G6 2235 US. 2235 US. So let's hop up here on my screen. Hopefully the stream looks better. I had to do some major adjusting with the graphics card upgrade. What did I call it? I said an HP G6 2235 US. Bottom case. So let's compare now. I know we have some other stuff in here. I guess, yeah. New HP part? Could this be our part if it's a non-Windows one? Let's find out, because it is on eBay. So, at first look, no. Because when you're looking there, and you look there, and then you look here, there's no hole right in the center. You see where this hole is? But you do have these 4 holes along the top, and then these other holes along the bottom. They're not there. But when we look at ours, we notice those holes aren't there. We have the top 4, not this one and these ones, but that's because they're under the label. So indeed it is, so far, the same case. Doing a comparison here, it says it fits an HP G6, G6 2000, G6 2100, brand new condition. Andatel is, I guess, who's selling it. Let's look at 6 2000. So let's go see, look at the other pictures and look at the inside. We will compare that. To my old eyes, that it's looking pretty kosher. The only thing I'm worried about, and this is where, can you zoom in? This is where you would go way, 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 way wrong on these things. Most of it would indeed fit, okay? Most of it. Now, it's all fairly similar until I start looking in a few different spots. And those few different spots are, should we use this one? We'll switch over to this one. Okay, the few different spots are, we don't have as much stuff in this area. We're missing a section here. So we have the flat part. We're missing the little curved thing that kind of starts. This one's old, so I'm just going to put a little scratch in. It kind of starts like here and curves that way. We're missing that, as well as our holes here for where our hinge mounts down. The one screw is a through hole mount, just screw down into the case with the little metal press-in threads. They're really close together, and if you look at the picture here, you can tell in that picture that they're gapped further apart. Now, how far apart exactly, I don't know. And plus, they're in the wrong format. These ones are all grouped tightly together, kind of like from here to here to here. These ones, you have a long shot and then a short shot. This one here has two quick shots, just there and there. So that bottom case will indeed not. So the hunt continues for another bottom case. That was that one. $9.99. That one's used. That would probably fit, but we're not going to go with a used one, are we now? All we now? Come on, Bobo. Bobo. Man, we got to get some people out here watching. I know it's late and y'all got work, but come on. This is what After Hours is all about. G6 2235 US bottom case, eBay. They claim for $36.29 it's in, bottom case covered door. Now, do y'all sell a 2235 bottom case? That's what I'm interested in. Not the door. Laptop bottom. The laptop has a bottom, so bottom screw set, bottom assembly screws. Don't want nothing to do with that. So that braking hinge looks like it could be bottom case, casing lower panel. Is it just the battery door? Oh. Wow. $1,599. And you even get free delivery. It's in stock. We can have it delivered to Mumbai. Dang, son. One offer. Okay, so how about I offer them a little less? We'll take them 2 zeros off there and then move that decimal point over. Strike out that comma. That can't be real, but you know what? If you tried paying that, I guarantee they would let you buy it. Pavilion G6 case. What's the score here, people? Okay, 20. We don't have a 2235. We do have some other ones though. So G6 2000. G6, G6. We're still not finding that 2233. 2233 is closer. Let's find out. What I don't like and that is the one that matches our bottom case perfectly. We only have the few posts sticking up. We do have the slightly curved piece. Ours doesn't have the whip around curve when ours just has the slight little curve, and we have the mounting screws that are really close together. And that all looks to be in fairly good condition. Now the question is, can we get one of them? Discount price, that to that a piece. So I'm guessing if we order one, they're going to charge us how much? $78.42 plus whatever for shipping. Thanks AliExpress for having the part. However, we won't be ordering there. We only need one for this nice young lady. We're going to keep our hunt up. Actually, let's get off of AliExpress altogether. Bottom case. Is this the case? Oh yeah, that's $1,599. So G6, another Amazoner, $36.75. What do look like inside? Show me what's inside you. What's inside? We've got the right run there, the few holes there. It is lined with foil inside, which ours is not. We've got the right layout there. We have the right... Can I get a big picture, people? Is that just... That's not on the agenda. Yeah, that's all right. Maybe it isn't lined with foil. Maybe that's just the camera shining on it. It's a G6 2000 though. Each bottom case cover is tested before shipping. How are they possibly testing these? Can you tell me that? G6 22. Excuse me if I already looked at this one, but we're going to take another. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Let's have another look-see. So going by this picture, it has the slight bend here. It has the 3 close screw holes. These 4 are right. And that is it. It's $19.99. It's not prime, but there's only 17 left in stock. We're going to go ahead and get one of these in for this lady, so her laptop can quit breaking. First and foremost, though, we need to see why it wasn't waking up. So I think we're going to have to do a new thermal paste application. We'll reassemble this with the broken hinge the way it is. Maybe. I don't even think maybe. I think, yeah, it just ripped out of there, and everything that holds them is all busted in pieces. Reconstructing all those little pieces is not an easy feat. I've done it a couple times when I could not find a part. Reconstructed, filled it with epoxy. At this point, it would just be easier to fill that area with epoxy and put it together. In the spirit of needing to maybe take it apart again to put a new bottom case on, we don't want to get epoxy on any of the electronics. We are going to reassemble the best we can and hope we don't break it. What came through the right side on the display was merely the Wi-Fi cable and not the display cable, as our customer had suspected. What that tells me is a possible problem with the laptop itself, hardware-wise. Poor thermal application, just had it running hotter than needed to be. Plus, it was already running hot from the clogged up heat sink. Oh yes, let's do the flashlight test again. I forgot about that one. Okay. We'll try and do it the similar same. We've got to get this lined up for everybody. Try and make it perfect. As you can see, it's shining a little bit like it is if I don't have it behind it whenever it's coming through it. So, and you can even see the beam shining out across the fan cover. So yeah, much cleaner second time around, and I know without a doubt you can definitely see it through there, and you're not seeing it under my thumb. My thumb is pressed solid against this. So, an official way to test it? No, but just something that I do for a visual representation to show people what dirt and gunk can do. We're going to go ahead and reassemble this and pick it back up tomorrow with the testing. We're going to call it quits for the night. I guess we can do a reassembly here. I would love to throw a podcast on. Or a live stream from my favorite YouTube channel, which I think I'm going to do, but not on the computer. Even though I do have permission to rebroadcast it, not during my live stream, but while I can listen while I'm live streaming. I'm not going to throw the audio out there. I have it set up to where if there is audio playing and I start talking, the audio ducks well below the level of me talking. The audio ducks down well below it. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and go off the live stream. There is, after all, not much of an audience here in the chat, so I'm going to close my live stream, actually, which is dumb. I need to go back to YouTube in general, close the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and fire up what I think I saw tonight. We're going to give it a little volume, and if it blasts through, I'm sorry. All right. We've got some audio over here. Tell me about it, Kyle. So I've been thinking lately, I need like kind of like a pre-roll to open the show. I've been putting a lot of thought into one for the podcast. Like, you know, live, now streaming, live now, streaming now, currently live, whatever, with some video and some music. Turn it down a little. But what do you do? Oh, we're gonna say skip that one. We're down to 12.3 gigs. It got held up due to wanting me to retry, skip, or abort on that one. I just put skip. It's some tools, software that I already have multiple backups. But yeah, I've been thinking about, I need some kind of pre-roll for the show. If anybody sees this or has any ideas, I'm going to put a post on Facebook about it. Give me an idea. You know, I just, it's to be a little more entertaining for people, you know? I want to go ahead and put some, you know, have a little bit more to it. You know, it opens up with a little bit of music, a little, you know, video sizzle reel kind of what goes on, maybe me cleaning, pull a couple clips from the stream, past streams, maybe throw an image of myself and, you know, old dad over there. He's not here currently, but old dad who sits over there. Picture us up, him up, me up, and have it go from a real picture to like a sketch, or maybe from a sketch to a real picture, and then that still image goes to moving video. You know, I had a couple ideas of what to do with it. Both that and the one for the podcast. Sadly, that all takes time. Editing, putting all that stuff together, doing the Photoshop and the After Effects, the Premiere Pro, that all takes time. So it's a long work in progress, but that's okay. I expect to have to do some work. I don't mind it. I like the stuff. I just wish I had more time to do it. Like if I could do this full time, oh my, I mean, that would be a dream come true. Being able to talk to the internet. I don't consider myself a professional. I like to think that I kind of know what I'm doing just from so much experience. And believe me, in getting that experience, don't think for a second that there wasn't a whole lot of times where I had broken something of a customer's and had to take money out of pocket to replace it because it wasn't, you know, what they were paying for, whether it be opening up a machine and it was built differently than I'd never seen, and I rip a FPC connector off a motherboard, or break something, or use the wrong tool, do something wrong, forget to hook a fan up, and, you know, you learn all kinds of things when you do this. And overall, it makes you, you know, I think a better person. Expands your knowledge a little more, gives you insight to how some of this stuff works. And although, you know, I don't consider myself a professional, I do love doing it. I do it as close as to professionally as you could, I suppose, but I just want to, get it out there so people can see that there's no mystical, magical side to this, and let you know that if you've ever thought about tinkering or tearing something down, opening it up, it's something that's broke or even not broke. If it's a perfectly functioning device, you can open that up too and check it out, see what's inside it. That was always the main attraction, was seeing what's inside these things. How do they work? And it's not so much that anymore because I've seen so many, but it is. It is still a lot of fun, and it's, wow, I'm like completely dumbfounded here. I just picked up a screw. It's okay, I set it down there. It's the, how did we get there? I meant to go there and I went to the screen. It's the fun of taking something that's not working and getting it working again, getting it working right. Now, granted, I don't do a whole lot of the let's get a multimeter out and test every single point on this board and figure out where's the fault and fix that fault. I do that, believe me. But that is a very, very, very time consuming process, and most people are not interested in a repair like that. There's so much easier and more cost effective, budget friendly ways to fix things, so I often don't go that route. And I don't, maybe I possess some of the skills, but I don't possess all the skills to do that. Like, one thing I don't like doing, which I have done, is opening up the like old TVs, the ones that have the CRT TVs, cathode ray tubes. Yeah, those are the ones that you touch the wrong stuff and it's gonna cook you or throw you through the wall, or gonna be not a good day. Not a good day if you touch the wrong thing in them. It can probably even kill you without getting zapped. I forget what kind of even radiation you're messing with in those. I don't know if it's X-ray or what. It's something. They're dangerous. The old electronics. This stuff's nowhere near as dangerous as that used to be. We have quite a bit of corrosion too. Is the other thing. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're gonna test to see how hard our thermal compound is. It is still fairly soft. Just pressing on it with the end of this auto punch here, we can put some marks in it fairly easy. So, what we're going to do is grab a Q-tip and clean off as much of this as possible just with pressure. We've got two sides to this Q-tip, and take this old junk off. Get the trash can out and get the rest off. We'll go ahead and clean off our processor as well. All the stuff that's on the die that's closer to the heat source, it's got a little more. I'm going to go ahead and brush off some of this stuff around these capacitors on the processor. Okay, and one more Q-tip for it being wet. Or yeah, one more Q-tip for the taking it off being dry. And we'll go ahead and grab alcohol. And I don't know, can you use alcohol? Should you use IPA? Should you use IPA or alcohol? I think they both do about the same thing. Some people prefer IPA, some people prefer alcohol. I say you use what you have without having to put money into it, unless you have nothing, and then go spend $1.50, $2.50 for name brand stuff at your local dollar store or big box store. Actually, I think at a big box store you're going to pay a couple bucks for alcohol. One thing I don't like is how thermal compound will get stuck right in the legs of these capacitors around the die. I don't like that one bit. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do one more rub down real quick of that die. We know we got the thermal compound off. We'll let that dry. We're going to do a little rubbing with alcohol into the Q-tip and clean up our heat spreader. Okay, and then we got the dry end here. Dry it off one more time and then go back and hit it with the undirty side, wet undirty side of our Q-tip. We're going to let that dry and that dry for a few minutes. Let me tell you, it has gotten fairly cold outside. My heat is on here in the After Hours studio at 64 degrees. We're going to turn it up a little. We'll take her up to 67. I'm starting to feel a little cold. Actually, we'll keep that there and we'll flip it back over to high mode where it blows, I think, a little hotter heat up to 67. I'm starting getting a little frigid, a little chill in here. So we're going to get some heat sending our way. All right, the fan's back together. Let's go ahead and continue. Our rebuild of this computer. Alright, we got a couple sets of our smoothie milkshake hybrid. Oh boy, is that a bad flipping day if that's true. We may be doing nothing, people. Nope, never mind. The last little bit of thermal paste that I have, somebody used it and didn't put it back. We're going to go ahead. And you don't need a lot when you do this. You don't need a big gasket out around the die, separating the die from the capacitors, stuck on here, how we cleaned it off of that. You seriously need the littlest of lines on this, and it's gonna spread out when you screw down that heat sink. Alright, there's that. We're going to grab our tweezers because there was a tiny, tiny, tiny hair stuck to the end of that. And it came out. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there's no way you're going to see that. Maybe against the dark background. There you go. Yeah. So, yep. Do what old Nick does and throw your tweezers right in the garbage can when you're trying to fling something off of them. Okay. That's actually a little watery than I like. I think it's separated in the tube, so we're going to go and try and suck it back up some. Okay. We're going to mix up what is out on this. Yeah, it did pull it up. We will put a new line on it. That is actually laying there a lot thicker. than the first run. Okay. So it's been smeared around a little. Let's go ahead and remount our fan. And something I like to do personally, and like I said, I'm not a professional. This is habit. Is I take, if I can, I plug the fan in first. What I've done in the past is usually in a hurry reassembling these and tearing them apart, not taking time for like a stream or something. And I'll wind the screws down for the mounting plate here, and I'll forget to plug the fan in. And then I gotta tear the laptop back apart because the fan's not spinning. You get a fan error not detected. So years ago I formed the habit of plugging the fan in first, and then I go to the screws for this plate right here. And if you guys can hear what I'm listening to, I'm sorry. I want to hear it. Not that I'm gonna stand here and listen to it and let you listen also. I could take the mic over here.
That means at some point in time, those elite men would be.
But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go ahead and, like I said, reassemble this thing. Oh, you didn't go on across. Doesn't matter. When you're tightening, whenever you're first mounting, screwing down, yes. Maybe then you can go in a square, an X, whatever. Alright, fan is plugged in, mounted down, restuck to the motherboard in that area. Not as tacky as before. Should do the job just fine. We're in our proper spots. Actually, let's go ahead and go around here and make sure. Right there, we're there, and we should have one there. Yep. Okay, now drops right into place. We'll wait to put those in. Make sure our board is down. Indeed it is. We do have this wire that wants to creep out right here. Why? Let's explore for a moment. It's not tucked down in. That would be why. Okay. Tucked down in. Let's go ahead. We're mounted in place. One screw. Anybody remember where I put it? Oh yeah, it was one of these ones that are the same everywhere. Okay, let's get you where you belong. Get that mounted. Okay. I really don't want to play with that. We'll just feed the Wi-Fi wires under right here. It seriously keeps coming back out. It just will not stay down where it needs to. Well, we will try it like that. Maybe I misjudged it. I could have. Talk about the dumb move. I just about pulled our storage hard drive right off the shelf, grabbing at something else. Like I said, don't do what I do, but maybe you can learn something here. Don't do what I do when I do the dumb stuff. The blatantly obviously stupid Nick moment stuff. Don't do that. All right, let's
All
right, Wi-Fi, get under there. Okay, so we have one Wi-Fi wire. And another. Straighten them out. We're going to go ahead and run them right through. Get a grip. Get the screen set back in here. And we have our few display connectors, which would be 2 big screws, and then the one was for the long screw holding the top case to the bottom case with, there was a bracket, and I think it's connected to the top case. It is indeed. It is part of the speaker assembly. I thought it was part of the hinge. My mistake for saying that. Okay, so let's get this hinge mounted so this thing should at least stand up by itself, so I can reassemble the rest. That is super broken. Alright, we will take, well, put one more in here, and that's about as good as we're going to get. That side's completely broken off. Completely broken off. Go ahead and give everybody a semi more spectacular view of this, I suppose. So we got new thermal paste application. Let's take a quick minute and reroute our Wi-Fi wires in the correct location. Wow, they did have that little wiggle bend to them. Huh. Okay. Okay. I can do it. There's that. We're going to hold them in there and try and flex them and get them through to the little chamber or compartment, little area that holds the Wi-Fi card. We're going to pick this up carefully because of that broken hinge. Go to the bottom side and pull those through. Now they should stay in their spot there. We can bend them and adjust them later. Alright, let's think about this. Nothing else goes in here now. We can literally put the top case back together. Somewhat. Let's give a few snaps here and there. We'll go ahead and put our ribbon cables back where they belong. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get this this session of After Hours is about to expire. You know, I think that's in there, but I can't quite tell. That's in there. They put the lines on some of these in such a different spot that sometimes they go all the way in and get buried by the little flip down, flip up connector tab or lock tab, and other times they don't get covered by it. They're just kind of line up with it so you know if it's square or not. And this one seems like it just went in. Yes, okay. We're partway there. We have our speaker to connect, these screws to run back in. Excuse me. And we'll connect the keyboard, flip it over, and get the bottom mounted together as well as we possibly can. So short streams, long streams. What do people like? I've gotten a couple comments. I think I've gotten 4 or 5 comments in the few years that I've been doing YouTube. And to be fair, I really didn't do any YouTube at first. And even now that I do it, I do the weekly podcast, I should do so much more. And it all comes down to time and how busy I am. And to take and do a long stream like this in the daytime is nearly impossible. I think I'm going to reserve these longer ones for after hours. That way I can do them when I'm not bouncing around, run around like a chicken with its head cut off. Figure speech, not literal. PETA, whoever you are. Okay. Keyboard? Can we do the keyboard? I think we can. Okay. Now remember, we do have to disassemble this thing again. I'm not going to waste any time doing it tonight by cleaning out all the dust. I got most of the heatsink cleaned out, and this thing will be disassembled again to put that new bottom case on. So, yeah, not wasting any time tonight with doing it. I'm just going to go ahead. We're going to try and get this closed in a nice fashion. Snap the bottom case back together completely. It's all together there. And put it back on our mouse pad and let's reassemble. What can we do first? Okay, so one of my least favorite parts is putting the Wi-Fi card back in. So let's get the wires out of the way. Take the screw out if you're one of them people that stashes it in there. Don't you dare try to go in that slot without removing the screw first. Okay. So there we have that. Let's go ahead and get it mounted down, then we'll clip our antennas on. Alright, these are marked 1 and 2. Some of them are not marked. In my honest opinion, it doesn't matter. They're just, the reason if there is a 1 and 2, the reason they're marked is to show you their original run, because the cables were pulled out to different lengths and to make it easier, I believe. It's not like 1's this type of antenna and 2's this type of antenna. Of course, I could be completely wrong. That's just my thoughts on the matter. Never actually Googling to see if there was an answer to that. So, and why is it one of my least favorite parts? These little Wi-Fi connectors, and they're even smaller on the newer cards, can be a nightmare to clip on, And it's just like, no man, what are you doing? Why? Why? No, man. So Wi-Fi card in. What do we want to do next? You got the screw? Did you screw your optical drive? If you did, how close can we get you with the camera coming down. That's about as close as I think I can do it. I don't even know if the focus is going to work that close. Jeez. That and, like, now there was some serious stuff grabbing that ROM when it was coming out. And what I'm going to say it was, we have a Wi-Fi wire right here in the way. We're going to go ahead, if I could get the camera down in to show you where the Wi-Fi wire was just in the way of the ROM going in, I would show you, but I can't get the camera down in there to show you that. What I can do is pull it out of the way so the ROM goes in. I think maybe that's what was kind of part of the problem, at least the first time around, was the wire was in the way of the ROM sliding out, just making it tougher. So let's go ahead and put this in. Oh, much better, much cleaner, much smoother insertion. Okay, and next, well, let's go ahead and get these two little screws that go under the hard drive. One thing about computers and fixing, doing, stuffing, messing, there is whole lots of screwing going on. Just not, I don't think it's the preferable to most type. Okay, we've got our hard drive. Let's go ahead and clip our SATA connector back to the motherboard. I remember when I first started seeing these in laptops, I'm like, whoa, that's a cool idea, you know? But I mean, it's still cool, but I don't say that anymore. I don't think I really said it then. I more or less thought it. Let's put our extremely awesome 4 or 8 gigs of Mushkin RAM back in the system. It's 2 times 4 gigs, so I'm guessing it's 8 gigs total, a match set, 2 4 gig sticks. It looks like we are in. I'm going to go ahead and drop some screws into their spots. There. There. We have one more for this keyboard here. Ah, I knocked it up on the thing. I was going to say, I usually end up with extra screws, and I don't remember dropping any, but sometimes you do drop them too, so you'll be short a screw. I thought I just was, but it was up on the little panel. These, when the door is off the bottom like this, like a big spot missing, I tried to do the ones holding the keyboard, anything else first. We notice there's a keyboard screw there. A release. And probably, let's press on the keyboard in that area. Huh, easy enough. Okay. Close that back up. No screws fell out. We'll check the 2 under the door. And then we'll go to 3. And then 4 under the door. And that covers the ones under the door. Now we'll start the outside edge. And that should finish up the screws going back in for to mate the top case and the bottom case. So on this side hinge, on the good hinge side, we have the through hole screw, which is a hole, you know, 1 screw there plus 2 more holding the hinge to the bottom case. 3 screws holding that side together. This side, the two inside screws that hold the hinge to the bottom case, the mounting points for the screws are broken. Again, let's check the 4 screws underneath. And with those mounting points broken on this hinge, you only really have the screw hole going through the outside. And what that can end up doing, we'll check our outside again. What that can end up doing, if it hasn't already, is ripping this screw hole loose. And I think it might have, because that would pop open and close depending on the laptop. Let's go ahead and slide that in, that latch it. Alright, battery, more skin. Let's watch this as we open it and see if it's going to pop apart. Will it? Won't it? Yeah, it really wants to. So what it's going to do is, you can see the case spreading here, and it's probably spreading back here a little bit when you move that hinge. It really wants to rip this last remaining screw loose. So what we're going to do is open it just a little, get a grip on it, and hold that side nice and tight to open the laptop. Now, let's go ahead, put our mouse pad back. We will get our power cable. We're going to give this thing a quick boot and see. Perhaps it's running a little cooler. That would be ideal with the fins being cleaned out to let air pass through. And then also with new thermal paste. That would also be pretty awesome if that was very better. Very better. Much more. Much more. Ah, our car door. Is somebody stopping? Stopping in for after hours? Watch it be the police thinking I'm in here robbing the joint. Nah, I'm just working, man. Just in here working, you know. Okay, so we got a charge light. No doubt about it, that 100% is our charge light. Our little orange charge light there is on. Should go to maybe, or no, our power light's over here. So we do have the power light and the hard drive light blinking. Computer is booting up. Gotta remember to hold this when we move this screen, you know, until we get that bottom case. It looks like it's gonna spin up and boot up for us here. So is it going to work any better? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Alright. Dang, it's getting late. It is time to 100% go. Okay, so it booted right into Windows. We will go ahead and open up Control. That dog's cool. It's like a little, it looks like a little wiener dog sitting there checking out the same computer that we're working on here. Alright, Task Manager is coming open, even though it's not responding. Is this Windows 8 or Windows, that looks like a Windows 8. Do we have a pause break key? No, we do not. So our next best bet is go down, let's right click to start. area and see what indeed it is. Boy, I'm stuck on if it's Windows 8 or 10. It looks like 8. 8 or 8.1. Let's find out. We're opening up. I think I said system. I don't know, man. Looks like a 10. Could it be a 10? We don't have any Wi-Fi currently. Airplane mode is off. And there's our Wi-Fi connection. However, our settings are being super slow. Super slow. Task manager, performance. Do we get a temp on performance tab? I always forget. 52, 73%, 44. It's jumping around. Almost 3 gigs out of 7.5 usable. 100% on the disk, so that's why stuff's being slow. The disk is up at 100%, constant, not dipping below yet. Wi-Fi is working. Let's check out startup and see what all's starting. So we are going to a bunch of stuff disabled. Let's look at the enabled stuff, which is Windows Defender. That's basically it. So that's startup. Process is running. There's not a lot, yet that hard drive is tacked out at 100. Our settings opened. Boy. Airflow, and it's not really that hot, but it's still dirty. And some people just ask. I actually had a friend, I call him friend, good friend, ask me tonight, why are you wearing the gloves, man? This shit gets dirty, okay? This stuff gets dirty, man. We have this one who's in here. I can only describe the pile of stuff that was inside it that looked like coal soot, but it was more likely brake dust, being that it come from a cycle shop. So, oh, where are we at? What is the story? 64-bit operating system, but it's not telling us about. Let's pull up the other system info. Maybe I just didn't read far enough. That could be. I jumped the gun a lot, get in a hurry. So let's let this open and find out. There you have it. Windows 10. Windows 10 Home, real small, which you probably can't read, or maybe. But definitely Windows 10. So, what's going on that has the hard drive up at 100%? Well, let's see if there isn't some kind of malware or some process running, tacking that hard drive up, and maybe not the CPU. We just plugged the USB drive in, and this is where After Hours is coming to a close for the night. We're going to do this for the night. Paperwork will be done tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and go into our tools, and we will fire up the newest version of ADW Cleaner with admin. So right click, run as admin on your ADW Cleaner. and let's find out
So
what it finds, if it finds anything. Now I know it's got to access the hard drive a little bit to run from external media, but running that from external media was a little quicker to open. But now that it's relying on with the Windows system on the main hard drive, it's going back to slower. So let's see if we'll do one run of this and find out. Is there anything holding it up? Will it drop the hard drive usage if it finds something? Because we were pegged at 100, and that could have been during startup, load up. Let's open this back up. Our task manager is open again. We're going to go to performance. Our hard drive is still pegged at 100%. Let's check with our ADW cleaner. It's doing its scan. It's found one. So from 1 to 9, that was quick. So 9 threats detected total. Are any of them any bad? Well, we don't know, but let's do a clean and repair. Clean and restart now. And then it's gonna do the little reboot, and we'll bring back up Task Manager and see what our hard drive's running at after a simple run of ADW cleaner. Will that benefit us at all to get the hard drive down from 100%? I don't know. I hope so. If not, then there would be one more tool that I would run to see if we could drop that percentage of hard drive being used lower. And if that don't work, then we're going to start checking on bad infection, start checking on hard drive status of it. Will it mount as an external? Scan it as an external with some of the same utilities to see. Often, when you're doing a cleanup of malware infection, virus, Trojan, you can run your scans on the computer and it'll find it, and you run it again to verify that that's gone and nothing else is there. And when you get 0 from the tools you're using to clean up, if you go and shut the computer down, pull the hard drive, plug it into another PC, and scan that drive as scan it as an external without the hard drive booting into Windows, more often than not, you're going to find that your tools that reported 0 to you when booted into Windows will find more stuff when the hard drive is booted externally. Because it can't boot up into Windows, it can't get running, but when it's in another computer can find it as an external drive. So, let's check the results of tonight. I'm going to pause this so I can watch it at home, and we're going to get out of here, people. It's going to Windows, going slower, going faster, I don't quite know yet. Seems about the same to me. Also, I'd like to make a quick note. Got the PS Vita back out. I'm working on my collection of the Persona games, Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, Innocent Sin, Persona 2, Shin Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden is the one that I got here, and then Persona 5 I'm probably going to have to play on. I could still play on this, but I'll have to get it for PS4 and then stream to this. Working on that in my Final Fantasy collection of all the Final Fantasy games, even some of the re-releases on like Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PS1. Yeah, so we got to do some emulation on this, but most of it is legit bought titles from the PlayStation Store, PlayStation Network. I have all of my old backups that I did of my PSP UMDs. I have all of them on here running in the virtual PSP, or the PSP emulator. It is hacked, yes. It's hacked to be able to run my backups. There's nowhere to put a UMD drive in, and I absolutely refuse to buy the same game I already own because I don't have a way to put a UMD drive in. I can play it with the way the unit functions, but I will not buy a digital copy of a game that I already own when I have the capability to make a digital copy of it with my PSP and then transfer it to my Vita. No, it's stupid. I won't do it. Okay, so that cleaned up 9 results, or nine unwanted things. Extremely likely I would recommend it to a friend. I would recommend it to everybody. ADW is awesome. We're going to run a quick scan again. It should go through a little quicker. While that's going, let's go in and get our other tool ready. We're not going to start it yet, but we're going to get it ready. And then we will pull up our task manager and see what is our hard drive usage. Go to our tools. Tell me that copied that in. Oh, it did. Oh, it did. Did it copy it? I'm going to be mad if it did. It did. Okay, let's find the one that don't belong. Where's the one that don't belong? I just moved. Let's cut and paste that. Cut. We're going to go back one and paste it out here where it belongs. It's officially, the night's done. Night's over. It's time. Alright, let's go. What bugs me? Oh, it does have 2-finger scroll. Most computers, and that's one thing that I was mad. I was mad, like pouting, angry, ready to break my computer mad. All these computers that didn't have 2-finger, let 2 fingers touch it to scroll, tap with 2 fingers to right click. All these computers that did not have that functionality ever. Windows XP, Vista, ME, 7, none of them had that functionality. All of a sudden with Windows 8 and 8.1 and especially Windows 10 now, all these old trackpads from the 2000s and later 2000s and 2010s onward have multi-touch. You can scroll with 2 fingers, you can swipe with 2 and 3, tap with 2 to right click. Yeah, they didn't have that functionality for years in operating system update, and all of them have it. So let's look at ADW. It indeed found nothing this time through. We're gonna skip the basic group. Had 2 scans run, 9 results the first time, nothing. Control Shift Escape pulls up our task manager. The task manager comes up much quicker. Go to performance. Okay, our hard drive is still up there high. It's at 100, but it did dip down in the 90s. We're down 100, 97, 96, 93, back up to 100. So we've got some stuff happening. Is it an old hard drive? Let's listen. Where is it? In this scheme, it's over here. It don't necessarily sound bad. It's down in the 80s, so possibly everything loaded for Windows? Is that a possibility at all? Is it? Well, hey, it could be. 14%, 44. So it's got some stuff going on now, but it's not pegged at 100 minutes into the boot. ADW cleaner, 100%, 10 thumbs up recommended, 2 thumbs up to be official, whatever. Fuck off. And fire up ArkHill. And this is to let us be able to run antiviruses and malware removal and stuff. This shuts down some processes, makes some changes with the system to let other tools work properly. Allegedly. I don't know the technicals. I don't have the facts. I just know how it works from experience with it for like a day. 2 days. 2 days if you were like to question me with a gun. I can't believe not one crash, not one, nothing. CPU has not even went over 60% from all my glances. Live, 0 dropped frames, and hopefully this video looks good on YouTube. We're gonna go home and make another drink to have at bedtime. Strawberry, not, she's make fruit to ice cream ratio. I do a lot of fruit to little ice and a little more than the ice with ice cream, but not near as much fruit. They turn out great. Strawberries, blueberries, vanilla ice cream, couple ice cubes, and raw merino cane sugar. Merino, I forget, Marina cane sugar. Did my data copy? Another thing on my mind. So, let's skip that one. I totally just about timed out because of all these stupid tools that Windows Defender sees as viruses, malware, adware, Trojan, whatever Defender sees it as. It's a utility that you use to do this type of work, and Windows Defender sees it as one. So it keeps stopping my data copy. It was supposed to take 35 minutes. We've been on over 2 hours, pushing 3 hours on it. Okay, so ArkHill will not run all the way through. Not yet. We'll let it go for another moment. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And we're going to shut it down and start up Malwarebytes and let that run. I'm not going to stay here for that. And we'll check back in on it tomorrow, unless ArkHill finishes. While that's doing that, I am picking up my last few tools here, putting them away. I'm putting down. Alright, get my pen, my clipboard. Do I go for it? Do I just unplug this little station? Bang, bang, bang. That is the USB 3 port. Let's do a properties and see how much data. 12, 13.8.9, 14. Seven gigs. Is that his optical drive banging around like that? It is. He's got a disk on it. Okay, we're going to leave it open so I can quit hearing that slapping around in there. Let's go ahead and scan his whole data backup with Windows Defender. Moving on to something else for just a moment or so distracted me. It gave ArkHill time to finish, so it wasn't like we were here trying to watch a toaster pop or watch a pot with water boil. I was ready to shut it down any second. But move on to something else for a few minutes, walk away, and it did indeed finish up. We will get a log file, and you can see what it did or did not shut down. So, enlarging it, checking Windows service integrity, it had a whole bunch of missing services, missing image path, incorrect image path, and what else? So, it had some stuff going on, but it's okay. I don't know where that file went. Let's go ahead. Does she have Malwarebytes installed on this thing? I thought I saw the blue M. I really thought it. Yes, indeed, you do. Let's fire it up, and we're going to let that scan run through the night. The hard drive does not sound bad. It has a little whine to it, but no tapping, knocking, clicking, beeping. It's just that. Not really grindy, more whiny. System updates are current. Let's click scan, and then we'll let this run, see if it gets any results before we close this out and get out of here. Defender is moving right along with his Windows or his data backup. We will check on that tomorrow. The data will be restored. We can put OpenOffice, or if he had a version of Office, we'll have to check his keys. We'll get that installed. This will be done, be ready to be picked up. If my data finishes, I can throw my hard drive sled back into my computer. And it's kind of neat. One sets in top, one mounts to the bottom side. So very neat hard drive caddy. You can, if you can get a mini ITX board, because the case only holds mini ITX, maybe I'll do a review on it. You can get one, so 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, possibility of space for 9 hard drives mounted solid all the time. I don't think you're going to find a mini ITX board or any expansion cards enough if you want a discrete graphics card that you could do all that. So, and in the streaming game, I definitely want a graphics card. It works so much better for streaming than my CPU does. So, that being that, thank you once again for joining me for this After Hours. We got some stuff done. We've got Malwarebytes running. No results yet. But it's running. We got the data backed up for them. We got the data scanning for this guy. Over here. And the data backed up here. Data's backed up. See if they want us to check further into it. I guess I can put that on here quick. All right. So we will get back with that tomorrow. We got to make a phone call. We have one other one to get into tomorrow. We have a bunch, but the ones we're getting into for the Thursday train wreck are going to be fun, I think. All right, 0 results on malware bytes so far, 0. My data is reporting 8.53 gigs. Probably not going to happen. If it comes up with another stupid utility, I'll be in here clicking ignore or skip to continue and finish the copy tonight. However, if it finishes shortly, that'd be awesome. Thanks again, everyone, for joining me now and in the future for this After Hours. It's been fun. It's late. It is time to go take care of my friend, get him in bed, get him whatever he needs, and then head home to crash, to get up, and do it all over again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. If you have any questions, the details are in the description. Leave a comment, email, call the shop, contact me on social media. I'll try to answer. If I can't, I'll try and help you find an answer. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good morning, evening, whenever you're watching this. It's morning for me. See you next time.